10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes. I've not thought this through very well. I'm wearing a white and green top, and as you can see, it is see-through. Yay! Clever Barry. I've had a Sinclair, I've had a Morrow, whatever you want to call it. I've had a May. But the top does look good, though. I was expecting Paul to be on with everybody else, but Paul seems to be struggling with technology tonight. But we've got Blade, Gary, Morrow, Liam all ready to come in. So before I do all that, I'll just get through the usual spiel. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoy this channel. If you're new to it, consider becoming a member. Very cheap. Link is in the top of the chat if you would like to do that. If you need any coastal carpentry or joinery work, great guy, does loads of stuff. The missus are still doing the perfume aftershave, bronze and stuff, everything you can think of. If you want it cheap, that's where you get it from. One badge left. One badge. There's only one badge left at last. If anyone wants it, contact me quickly, because once it's gone, it's gone. And if you're wondering where I got this top from, and also got this top from, it is a knockoff. It is a replica. It cost me 40 quid for the two of them. They were delivered within a week, so much faster than Castori. I got them off this guy on Twitter. So if you are interested in getting a replica, home or away top, even the new one that sold out, you can do that one. And also the third top, contact him and he will be in touch with you. There's the free advertisement, all done for everyone. Now let's talk some football. Blade, how are we doing?
I'm all right, mate. You?
Good, very good, mate. Gary.
Hello.
How are we doing? There we go. I'm good. Morrow.
Oh, lights are flickering.
Hello.
Way! That's how good I am. And we got Liam as well. How are you doing, Liam? Oh, Liam, you've got no sound. No. Oh, I think it's just broke everyone's computer there. Did you hear that? Still can't hear you, mate.
Well, funny enough, my lights just went off in the living room.
He's just put a boombox in my ear. This is why we love a fans forum, innit? Because things always go wrong. Still can't hear you, Liam. I don't know what you're doing, mate. But check your settings, pal. You might have just broke your whole house by having too much plugged into one plug or something like that. Blade's doing it the right way. He's doing it on his mobile, and so is Morrow. Actually, you are as well, aren't you, Gary?
Yeah, I'm on my mobile.
Private chat, one moment. I love it. Right. What's going on, Paul? We're waiting for you, mate. You've got the link. Click on it. Follow the instructions. There's no code. You just got to follow the instructions. Guys, how easy is it? You just click on the link. It says you're going to be entering a show. You press yes. You type your name in. You press enter. And then you're backstage. It is that simple. I promise you, Paul. So good evening from Davey, evening Davey, evening Baz Lad from Dougie, evening from Mag Brads, who does all the superb work for the channel with those thumbnails, intros, outros, all the stats things that we put up on the screen. He's the man behind it. And if anyone else is doing YouTube or, wants business cards or any designs, you want to check that guy out. His name is with an @ in front of it. That's how you find him on Twitter. Baz has had a Morrow. Yes, I have. Poor Morrow. Paul says B. Good evening, Baz and guys. Looking forward to tonight's show. Hi, everyone. Hi, Morrow, Blade, and Gary, and Liam. What about Blade? Oh, he did say Blade. I did read that out. Who we're missing? It's missing me, cheeky bastard. Good evening, guys in chat. Evening, guys, from Alan, and a Facebook user says evening, everyone. Just a quick one. If you are using Facebook and you want your picture to show up and your name to show up, you have to accept StreamYard settings. It doesn't cost anything to do it. Let's see if Liam's back.
Fixed it.
Way!
Hey. Four attempts. How are we all doing?
Stop buying cheap crap, mate.
Oh, no, mate, that was awkward.
Like this.
Out the
Look,
window.
it's see-through.
I was looking at that. I was thinking, what's that lovely necklace you've got on?
There you go.
I think that speaker system came from Castoria, didn't it?
Certainly getting delivered late. Hello from the Falklands, Paqueta and Ramos. Let's hope so. Right, guys, where do you want to start? I think we should start with this one. So we spoke about this on the show. Obviously, I know Gary and Mauro's favourite moment of Bobby Robson, but I've not heard yours, Blade or Liam. So, Blade, what's your favourite Bobby Robson moment?
When he joined. Simple as that. Just when he joined the club. I mean, he took we tried to get him the year before, didn't happen, and then we finally got him, and it was like welcoming sort of a father home.
Yes. Yeah, that's what it felt like. It felt like a homecoming, didn't it? And too late in my eyes. If he came when we kind of tried to illegally poach him from Barcelona a year before when Keegan left, I think our club would have been very, very different. But unfortunately, we had to put up with Kenny Dalglish, didn't we? That's a different story. Liam, what about you? What's your favourite Bobby Robson moment?
If I'm honest, I was a child when he first came in. But when I've heard of him, and when I was obviously a kid, the way he united the teams and the way he treated everyone seemed to be the biggest thing I've heard about him a lot. He's cemented things.
Yeah, he was an absolute gent. There's lots of stories going around just that he would, if someone would ask him a question, he would stand there for 10, 15 minutes talking about football, even though he had to be somewhere else. He would just stay there and talk to them and all that. So he was really, really good. Paul's having a nightmare. I don't know what he's doing, to be honest with you. You did, Keith, you're absolutely right. You did say that. It's my fault. I'm having a few Moros today, to be fair, and a few Sinclairs. Roy, as always, thank you very much for the super sticker, mate. That's absolutely generous of you. Every show he seems to be in here doing that. I have asked him to come on a show, but he says his English isn't fantastic at the moment, but he's willing to come on one in the future, so we look forward to that. And to be fair, mate, our English isn't any better. Mauro probably speaks better English than what we all do, so I wouldn't be worried about that, Roy, in the future. I guess the next, this isn't scripted, guys, by the way. I've just got loads of pictures. We're just going to randomly talk about Newcastle stuff, but I've got to keep the thing flowing. Let's talk about the result. Blade, first of all, fantastic start to the season.
It was. It's nice to get off to the winning start. They've kept the momentum going from kind of last season, pre-season. We looked dominant. It was nice to see we actually retain the ball. For once in our lives, we actually had more possession than the opposition. 2 great finishes. But I thought it should have been a lot more than 2-0.
Yes.
That was my only worry with the game. I thought it should have been more than 2-0.
Yes, I think I said on live on stream 4 or 5, to be honest with you. But Blade, a clean sheet.
Clean sheet, quality stuff. What defence looks solid. I'm not worried about the defence at all. I think I was the only one when he did the preview with the poor deluded Nottingham Forest fan who thought he could actually win the game. I went for the clean sheet because I thought, no way.
Oh, lost a bit of sound there, Blade. What about you, Liam? What was your thoughts on the game? It was obviously great to get off to a great start with 3 points.
Oh, mate, it was mint. I was at the match myself. And not even to lie to you, when Shaw had that shot, me and the guy that was sat next to us didn't even realise it hit the back of the net until about a couple of minutes afterwards. We both looked at each other. Did that just go in? But the good thing about the clean sheet as well is obviously Dubravka, don't get us wrong, love him a bit, but the confidence levels of Nick Pope running out and collecting the ball when the crosses were hiding by Nottingham Forest was nice to see. And that corner tactic, something else I'll speak about as well. Because everyone else outside the box and running in just didn't work.
I have no idea what they were doing there. I mean, if it comes off that like, oh wow, what an absolute amazing corner routine. But because they ran, I think they just made it inside the 6-yard box by the time the ball was already in Pope's hand. So they literally timed it all wrong. I mean, I can see why they would do it because you get the momentum going into the box, don't you, to attack the ball. But you've got to time it perfectly, and it just looked absolutely stupid. Gary, what about you about the game?
Basically, like we said the other day, it was confident performance. It's nice to have the possession, isn't it? Because under Bruce, it didn't matter whether we played Darlington or Man United at home or I was down on possession. So it was just nice to have a nice, comfortable game for once. And I think we'll have a few of them this season against lower league team, like lower opposition, sorry. It's just the way Eddie plays, though. And like I said, under Bruce, 70 minutes in against West Ham, the legs had gone, that was it. But under Eddie, Howe just got stronger and stronger.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Spot on. Comfortable victory. Great start this season.
Yeah. Paul, I've sent you the link twice in your inbox to your Twitter account. So you need to go into Twitter, go into your inbox, click on the link that I've sent you, and then you'll get yourself into the show, mate. It's very, very easy, I promise you. There's a few little good questions flying in on the chat, so we'll come back to the chat a little bit later on. Mauro, your thoughts on the game?
Great game, and the whole team played amazing. And I could not single any one player who didn't have a good game, and there were a couple who had a really, really good game, like Bruno, Schär, Big Joe, But what I'm most amazed by is our fitness level. It's unbelievable. You feel that they could have played another game just after that one and run for another 90 minutes. It's unbelievable how they got prepared for this season.
No, Bruno was a 7 out of 10, Mauro, sorry.
7 out of 10, yeah.
It was terrible.
We'll come to that stuff a little bit later on.
He says he was a key player, but gives him 7 out of 10.
I know. Mental. And then he came on the official website, didn't
he? Yeah.
There you go.
Unbelievable.
He's an idiot.
Yeah.
He really is. Blade, what do you think about the substitutions? We didn't use all 5. Nottingham Forest did use all 5. Is Eddie still maybe not too sure about his bench? I mean, we were 2-0 up. It might be nice to see Anderson being thrown on and maybe a few other players rested a little bit longer.
Eddie basically just kind of like, he liked what he was seeing. It's the first time since probably the Arsenal game where we've kind of been that dominant. And Eddie just thought, well, I don't need to use the substitutions here. I don't need to change the game. I don't need to affect it in any way. I think taking Wilson off was kind of a smart move. The more we can do that through the season, the better it is. Keep Wilson fit. Unless Wilson's on 2 goals and he's after his hat-trick, in which case I think he may fall out with Eddie.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't really mind.
You've made it, Paul.
Hey, I tell you what, that was some messing around.
It's easy, mate. You go on Twitter, click on your inbox, click on the link, and you're in.
Yeah, well, I was thinking it was one of those line things that you click on, but I'm here. That's the main thing.
It's the way Twitter does it. When you put a link in it, it puts it up as a massive box rather than an actual word. That's Twitter's fault, that. But you're here. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm just sweating. I mean, it's absolutely boiling down here in Rushcliffe, Nottingham.
Yeah, I'm in York and it hit 32 degrees today, so I am struggling myself. We're just talking about the result. How happy were you with the opening result of the season?
I was very happy with it. I just, I wanted to get tickets for it for me and the nephew, but it sold out within, 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah. It was crazy how quick tickets are going to go these days. What about the performance itself? What really stood out for you?
Well, I think Bruno.
7 out of 10, Bruno.
he just kept acquiring the ball. The ball was kind of like stuck with his foot, And like I say, I've said it many times when I've been in chat, onwards and upwards. You know,
Yeah.
I've got me bet on for the end of the season, and if I get the bet, then I'm going to see Steve Hasty over at the food bank and pop it in the bin.
That's really good. You've gone for top 4, haven't you?
I have, yeah. That's what I believe.
Hey, you never. I'm not saying no. I just can't see it. But hey, I like the optimism. I really do. And if we do, obviously the food bank's going to benefit. So let's hope they can pull that out of the bag for you. Liam, what do you make about the substitution situation? Obviously, we have 5. You know, we've got to look after Wilson. We've got to manage Joelinton as well because he can get a bit fiery. We don't want to see him get sent off and get a second yellow card and stuff like that. There's a few other players you want to, you know, smother. Bruno being one of them. We don't want him to get injured, especially with Shelby being out. Did you expect him to use the full 5 on Saturday? Because I thought it would be something we would really look to use and utilise now that we've got 5 rather than 3.
Not gonna lie, I forgot there was 5. I forgot the 5, but at the same time, when you look at it, I don't really think he's monitoring it as such. Like, I don't think he needed to make the 5. I think that's how he's looking at it. I think the way he brought on his substitutions, it was more or less running down the clock, and I think we've seen that a lot. We've seen it last season as well. He was making his substitutions towards the back end, so it was like 87th, 80th minute. And we noticed that, like, even added time, he likes to bring a player on and added time. So I'm not surprised, but I think it was a case of just in case anyone picked up a random knock, he's keeping that extra 1 for.
Yeah, I just think I would like to see an Anderson, especially with Forrest trying to push up. Yeah, Anderson's skill, Fraser, even with his pace as well, coming on. I just thought a bit earlier, you know, Miggy ran his socks off. Bruno ran his socks off. Wilson led the line absolutely fantastically well. Obviously, we've got to keep him fit. So I just thought maybe taking them off a little bit earlier when the game was won, that probably would have been a smart thing to do. But hey, I'm not a manager. That's why I sit here and sweat in front of a laptop rather than sitting in a dugout. So but these are things to keep an eye on because as the season goes on and we don't get that extra striker in, Wilson is going to need to be managed properly. So it's going to be interesting. And there's a good question in here as well. How do you feel about 4 of our players if we sign Paqueta leaving from South America club? It will hurt us if we're fighting for honours. I was just talking to Barry about it. So I'll come to Blade first. Obviously, you know, is that a worry? I mean, it does feel like a worry, but aren't they trying to change when that competition's played? Have I heard a rumour or have I just made that up?
No, you haven't made it up. It doesn't actually take place during what season. So effectively, it would be kind of, I think it takes place during what pre-season. So they're basically just getting the pre-season playing competitive competition football.
Because I thought there was one where they play during the winter. But I don't know who that's for, though. I don't want to get them mixed up because I got them mixed up last time and I got an absolute grilling for it. But again, the Brazilian ones, they don't get affected, do they?
Is that not the African Cup?
Yeah, I think that's the one where people get...
Well, not the African Cup.
Yeah, I think it's the African Cup, and we don't have anybody who qualifies for that, have we? I'm trying to think of our squad. We don't, do we?
Not that I can think of.
No, we don't. No. So there you go, Luke. I had a feeling there was something like that, but I also think they're actually trying to change the AFCON start and finish dates, and I'm sure they're trying to do it inside, you know, most of the European leagues because a lot of their players are now playing in Europe. So I'm sure they're trying their best to actually change the date. I'm sure I read it somewhere, but I can't remember where. Next one there, Miggy should have fired loads off. Yes, he should have. He probably should have had about 2 or 3, to be fair. As a man, I'd say Eddie is the closest manager we've had to Sir Bobby. He is a class act. Long may it continue. I kind of agree with that, but obviously with Bobby just shading it, of course, on top because of who he was. Bruno controlled the game from start to finish. He's an amazing player, and we need to build around him for our future, which I'm sure we will do. I think if we had a right winger and a bit of luck, it could have been 4 or 5. I disagree with that on the right winger situation. I think Miggy's going to have our best season. Well, actually, we're going to come to him a little bit later on. Off topic, FPL question warning: Shaw 4.5 or Trippier 5? Oh yeah, it's FPL points for who would you take? I took Trippier in my team. Has anyone else done Fantasy Premier League?
Yeah, Trippier hasn't mine.
Yeah,
I have Trippier too.
Trippier's in mine.
Paul, have you done the
Trippier's in
Fantasy
mine.
Premier League?
I haven't, no, because I don't really understand it. If it's not like FIFA on the Xbox, I don't understand it.
I love that one. Paul Daniels was sorting out our corners. Blade, have you got your fantasy football team in?
I haven't, but the guy that asked him that question, that's me scouse mate, one of my best mates. I was at university with him, and he's already grilled us on who we should put in his fantasy team, Trippier or the other one. So, yeah.
Well, I've got Trippier. I mean, Shaw scored a beast, but he's not going to score many more now for the rest of the season. Trippier's got a better chance on free kicks and getting assists with deliveries into the box. That's why I picked Trippier over Botman and Shaw, to be honest with you. In the last 10 minutes, we used to be nail biting. It was nice to be relaxed. That is so true. Paul Daniels sorting out the corner routine for Nottingham Forest. Made me laugh. So cool. And UFC fans on Twitter reckon if Wilson stays fit, he could get golden boot. Why not? I mean, Haaland, Salah, Son. I mean, you're talking 30, 35 goals he needs to score. So I suppose I understand why you might laugh at that. But if Wilson stays fit for a full season, he could push for probably top English goal scorer and might get himself in the World Cup as well in the winter. So an interesting one. Hey guys, from John. Hope you're well, mate. His whole house has got COVID, so I hope they're getting better. Bloody COVID. Eddie did the same with Bruno. We'll bring them in slowly. The team playing outstanding. I think that's to do with Botman. Hi, Paul. Congrats, Paul. I think that means congrats on getting on the show, Paul. You've done it. We were like Barca. No shit, pass the ball around, unreal. We were brilliant. Hey, Aid Seeker. And if Baz can do it, anybody can. Exactly. I am shocking with technology. Bruno's massively overrated, apparently. Yeah, I would love to know who said that. I've got us to qualify for Europe. That's an interesting one. Hopefully, Cup counts as well. We will use 5 subs in 2 weeks with 3 away games in the week. Oh, yeah, because we've got the... we're going to come to that a little bit later on. The Carabao Cup. Is the Copa America played in the summer? The African Cup of Nations in January. That's it. I think that's how it works in the summer. When we sign Ramos, it will be okay. Fingers crossed. If you watch the video today, it looks good. Yeah, it's after the season finishes. There we go. The Copa America is now in tune with our season. It's Africa. That's the winter. There we go. I'm sure they're trying to tune that one as well. I don't know why.
It's just been moved, actually.
Has it?
To 2024.
There you are.
Clash with the Euros.
Right. Who would you prefer, Ramos or Paqueta? There we go. Here's a question for the panel. Mauro, who would you prefer, Ramos or Paqueta? Bearing in mind they are 2 different players, though. They are a striker and a midfielder.
Yeah, Paqueta, definitely. I like Ramos. I think he has high potential, very similar to Ekitike. He would be a good solution for our striker position, but Paqueta is something different. He would add creativity. He would add so much, so Paqueta, definitely.
Interesting. Paul?
For me, Paqueta or both.
Yeah, I don't think that's the option, though. It's Ramos or Paqueta. We would both like both, but if you had to choose one,
Paqueta. Yeah, Paqueta. Be Paqueta. Brazilian in our midfield. As part of the triangle, would be unstoppable.
Yeah, I think you could be right, to be fair. Liam?
I'm going to be completely different. Ramos.
The
only reason I was saying Ramos is because the amount of times I've addressed on Twitter as well, Paqueta, and the fact there'll be 3 Brazilians in the middle. If at any point them African Cups or the Brazilian Cups or them sort of international duties clash with the season, the depth just isn't there to lose all three of them players if they get called up for international. So Ramos by a mile, because we just need that either future striker or that person that's going to take over massively from Wilson if Wilson gets unfit.
Yeah, it's a very diplomatic answer, that one. I like it. Blade?
Paqueta. He has actually played up front last season. He played 5 times, scored 2 goals and got 5 assists. So he can be utilised as a striker.
I like that. Gary?
Well, I'd be silly if I'm not saying Paqueta because I've been going on about him for I'll go Paqueta, but I'm not going to lie, I don't know a great deal about Ramos. So if I said Ramos, I would be completely lying, but I could be wrong. Ramos could be an absolute baller for all I know. I didn't know who he was till a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about him either, to be fair.
No, I don't, and I would be lying if I said I did. So I'm going to go for Paqueta, basically, because the thought of seeing them 3 Brazilians in the middle of the park just fills me with joy.
Yeah, I love it. Right, next little talking point. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Eddie Howe, I would love to win a trophy, whether that's this season or beyond. It's my dream to achieve that. And with ourselves as well, obviously. Does he have the chance of doing it? I think he does. But let's talk about Eddie Howe in general. Paul, what have you made of Eddie Howe since he's came, and his quotes and his mannerisms and just everything about him?
Well, what was it? The Crystal Palace game, which we had last season. Me and Aidan was up at St James's, and we actually met him. As he came up, the players' entrance at where the park the cars.
Yeah.
He actually came up, and I was going to get it on my phone, and Aidan turned around and says, "There's my phone. Please take a picture." So I had to take the picture.
What? You handed the picture to Eddie Howe to get a picture of you and your son?
No, it's my nephew.
Oh, nephew.
And,
sorry. So Eddie Howe took a picture of you and your nephew. That's nice of him.
Well, I wish, but like I say, I was going to get it on video, because obviously I think he's a brilliant young manager, and I'm glad that we're keeping him. He's not going to England.
Hopefully.
And at the end of the day, I think trophy within 2 seasons. So we're down at Wembley, pick up some silverware, and just have a party coming back home.
We certainly would do that. Liam, what about you?
In regards to Eddie Howe, I honestly think just the way he approaches things and the way he has approached it since taking over, he seems very community driven. We're seeing it with Bournemouth. He likes to build bridges with the fans and likes to be totally honest. I know not everyone can be honest in front of the media because within contracts and things they can't say certain things, but he seems sort of like genuine from his heart and tells you how it is. You look at him in his interview with signings and things, he was totally honest and said they've got an idea of a pool of players. There's nothing to do with how many players they're going to sign, but he was honest and he knows things are difficult. I just think he doesn't beat around the bush. He doesn't shrug things off his shoulders and things. So I think his honesty it's won me over in its sense. And the fact that he's signed a new long-term deal is it's blown us away. I think he's someone that you keep for years. And I said when he took over that he will shock a lot of managers and a lot of clubs of how he will build this club in the future and potentially win a trophy. But I did say, and I said this the other day to someone, that either this season or next season we'll definitely see a trophy in the door, even if it's the Carabao Cup, will be at Wembley.
Yeah, I would add. If we can win any cup. We got asked a question on Twitter, I don't know if you saw it, but would you take top 4 or take the cup this season? And I said top 4. Just because you win more trophies in the future with better players and all that sort of stuff. So that was an interesting question. Blade, what about you on Eddie Howe himself?
I think he's absolute shite. Because we need to stop these rumours of him going to England. People are running for years. Hashtag Potter for England.
Yeah, Potter for England. I tried to get that trending a couple of days ago, but it didn't go down as well as I thought it would. I was gutted. I mean, you never know what's going to happen with England because Howe might fancy the England job. Just Mike Potter might. Kevin Keegan said he would never take the England job, and he took it. So it's amazing what that job can do to a manager. Let's hope he doesn't take it though. Gary, what about you on our saviour?
I'm actually, since you mentioned that, I'm wondering if it's in his contract.
Can't go to England.
No.
Sign here.
You gotta go. Yeah, no, honestly. Well, what more can you say about him? It's just nice to see a team full fitness. I think it was what John Joe Shelby said when he first arrived, and he says he went to a room and gave all a piece of paper and told her to write all their families down. So he could go in, so he could get to know every player, on a personal level as well. And that's something Steve Bruce didn't do. And Bobby was the same as Eddie. He would do that. Yeah. He would go in and find out. Remember, I went in straight away and went to Shearer, see why Shearer wasn't scoring goals at the time. And that's what Eddie Howe did. Man management-wise, he is absolutely top class. And without a shadow of a doubt, he's still got Keegan and Sir Bobby to beat yet, but he's gone above Rafa for me. So if he wins a trophy, that'll put him above him. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And I think he's got a good chance, in the next couple of years. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely has. Mauro, what about you?
Yeah, everything he did from the start has been amazing, from results to practically saving the career of some players who were already deemed not good enough, and most of those are now our best players now. He made the Joelinton into a beast, midfield beast, and everything.
Yes.
But the top thing for me is the relationship between the players, the morale, the willing to fight for another, the way they treat each other. It's just, I think, good foundations to make something great at this club. And if he was offered a job now or next season, I don't think he would go. I think he would first like to win a trophy or two here and make some mark in club management, trophy-wise, and then probably maybe one day move to England. But he's still young, and I don't think he would move in a season or two at least.
Yeah, Potter for England. Got a good ring, that, hasn't it?
I think it will. I think it will be Potter.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah. I hope so.
When Brighton goes down.
I think it will be.
When Brighton go, I like Brighton.
I do, but I think it'll go down.
I think if they lost Potter now to England, I think Brighton probably would go down. I think you could be right, depending on who they get in, I suppose. But Potter's been amazing for them. Botman, Bruno in his team, that's fantasy teams. Trippier, ASM and Wilson are in my team. I've got Bruno, ASM and Trippier in mine. Brighton next game going to be... you too as well, Mauro.
Yeah, a century.
Yeah, you saw my team and copied it, I know. I shouldn't have put it up. And mind you,
I'm ahead of you, mate.
Oh, well, there you go. You had to drop that one in, didn't you? So Brighton next game going to be a tough, lads. Do we pick the same team? So a very quick yes or no on that one. Paul, same team?
Yeah.
Yeah. Liam?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mauro?
Same, maybe Botman. I'm not sure whether Botman will start, whether he can give me a chance, but practically same team. The guys were excellent.
Yeah, it's hard to put Botman in after a clean sheet and how well they played. Blade,
True.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Gary?
I was going to say you kind of change your winning team, but Keegan used to do it, didn't he?
Eddie Howe hasn't. No, he's always kept the same team, hasn't he? Unless there's an injury.
I think you'll keep the same team, and I would as well.
Yeah, that makes Friday night easy. I can just put the same team up again. Cheers from America. I'd be buzzing if we got Pulisic on loan. He's a player I wouldn't mind seeing. So let's see what happens. Tommy Thomas Wilson. Any news update on the transfer front, Baz, mate? Not just the video I did today. That's all the information I've had recently. I don't know when the next video will be out, to be honest with you guys. I'm working Friday, Saturday, Sunday days. That's 7 till 7. And then I'm night shift Monday, Tuesday night. So those little videos are going to be difficult to do, but I'll try my best if I do get any news to get it out there for you. If we get the right players in this window, it could be Wilson 30. Hey, you never know. Ramos would be great, but Paqueta fantastic. That's a good point. I mean, they're both for the future as well as now. I mean, Paqueta's only 24, 25. Ramos is 22, I believe. Is that right? 21, sorry. So, you know, it's exciting. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks, Itzika, for reminding me. Please, guys, hit the subscribe, hit the like if you're enjoying it. If you want to donate, $sign in the bottom right-hand corner. And if you'd like to become a member, the link is at the top of the chat. And obviously, this is a members first fans forum. And then if there's not enough members who want to come on, we then open it up to everybody else. I think most of you guys are all members, apart from Liam, I think. But yeah, that's what we try and do. We try and give back to people who put into the channel. That's the idea. They are about all competitions played at the same time. Yeah, I knew it. I knew I'd read it somewhere. They are trying to get them all in the same time frame. Aren't all internationals synced so clubs aren't playing when internationals are on? No, there was obviously the African Cup of Nations where, if you remember, Liverpool lost a lot of players. There was Sadio Mane and them lot going off. Paqueta all day plus totally different positions. They are, but you know, if we had a choice in the transfer market and got given the options, that was the question. Ramos scored his first goal in the friendly. I heard about that. Chris Wood shite signing. Someone has to bring that up, don't they? Every single show, Chris Wood.
I was going to say, is that Jason?
He probably is. He's probably come on hiding his identity. The players look willing to run through brick walls for Eddie. That is so true. Sorry, Bazza. It's all right if he's been trying to message me on Twitter about transfers, but I'm live, mate, and now he knows, and now he's watching. So hey, you're watching. That's what makes sense. Get more flags to do a banner. Yes. Potter for England banner at St James's Park when we play Brighton. Or put it in the away end on Saturday. What a great idea. Or get a plane to fly over the stadium with the... Oh, that is so mean. Right, we've done that one. So we're going to talk about this man, 7 out of 10. 63 accurate passes, 95 touches, key passes free, duels won 12, tackles won 3, heat map all over the place, passes everywhere. Man of the match performance, but yet he gets a 7 by a certain journalist in a certain paper online. Couldn't believe it when I read that. Blade, first of all, what did you make of Bruno's performance? I mean, looking at that, I give him a 9 out of 10. Some people will probably say 10 out of 10 because he's just influential and probably won us the game with his passing, but he's just phenomenal, isn't he?
Bruno's just, he's a level above. I mean, I've loved some Newcastle midfielders over the years. Like Rob Lee was quality, David Batty was quality in a different way, Paul Bracewell was quality in a different way. If you meld all them three together, Bruno.
Yeah. I think Kabay is probably the very closest to Bruno, isn't he?
How he comes.
Got a bit.
Sorry, what was
there.
that?
I'm saying I think Bruno is very similar to Kabay, but Bruno's probably a level above. But Kabay was sort of similar mold, wasn't he? Liked to play deep, liked to nail a tackle, and he also liked to create and score goals as well. So, and Kabay was the last midfielder I fell in love with at Newcastle.
Yeah, I think Bruno's probably more agile than Kabay was as well.
Yeah.
Like, you can get out of really tight positions a lot easier than Kabay could.
Yeah, I agree with that. Paul, what's your thoughts on Bruno?
A superb player who is basically, he's on another level. And I think, to be honest, with other players of the similar skill level, we're just going to claim and claim and claim, because the ball seems to be stuck to his foot with a bit of string, and he can do what he wants with it.
Yeah, he's just phenomenal. He's a pleasure to watch, isn't he, Gary?
Well, how many times have I said it? He's the best player I've seen in a black and white shirt since Shearer. He played spot on. it's like you get all these legends we have, put them into one player, and you've got Bruno. The only, do you know what it is? He's the one player that we've got. This is nothing against Joelinton or anybody like that. He's the one player that we've got that can attract interest from Madrid, Barcelona, one of those. Yes. And that's what worries me. And I know it's early, but that still worries us because I think next summer, Bruno's going to have a fantastic season and there's going to be vultures all over the shop next summer. So that's why I reckon next summer we need to go for it big time next summer. Because I just think we need to keep a hold of people like Bruno.
Oh, we do. We need to build a team around him and him and Botman.
I'm all for going slow, but then I look at Bruno and I think it's fine this summer, but next summer, Bruno's going to say, right, we're going for it this year and all that, because he's obviously been promised Europe at some point. So, but he's an absolutely fantastic footballer.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. If Leicester won 60 million for Maddison, how much is Bruno worth? That's a good question. Mauro, Bruno.
What to say about him? Really, really world-class player. I'm still amazed that we managed to bring him for around 40 million. When you see some amounts for other players around Europe, it was a steal. It was a steal. I read a good comment about him. Somebody said that he is number 6 playing as a number 10. And when you check on his heat map, you can see that he was all over the pitch. And also somebody was saying that the beginning of preseason, beginning of summer, that we need the defensive midfielder. We need to play Bruno number 8. But for me, in preseason and this first game, he looks to really enjoy playing the number 6. He comes deep to get the ball. He can progress with it. He can pass. I think he really likes the number 6. Maybe he knows that Paqueta will be coming, so he's preparing for him to be 6 and Paqueta ain't.
Yeah, well, 6 is his natural position, Mauro, so that's why he loves it.
Yeah, he loves to come deep for the ball and then either progress or pass, but a world-class player already. Really, really amazing.
No doubt. Liam, what's your thoughts on him?
It's like what Gary was saying as well. Obviously, he's mint. Look at the way he holds the ball up. He brings other players into play. It's the way, in my opinion, it's how he always wants the ball, and when he's getting the ball, he's always looking for that further pass that's going in behind. He's not tending to look at the defenders. He's always looking forward. And I think the one thing with him as well is, obviously with Gary saying as well, he's one of them players, he's going to have a mint season. You're going to have to watch out for him getting poached come the summer, because it is going to be one of them people. He's already on the verge of getting to that peak of where he's going to be world class. So when it hits that part, looking at it, obviously, you see now Barcelona just sign whoever they want. One of them when it comes next summer again.
Yeah, very interesting. The one thing I love about Bruno, and it's why I'm so confident we can play out from the back, is if you give him the ball with 2 defenders around him, he's so strong for the size of him. He doesn't give the ball away, and that's why I'm so confident when he gets the ball in tight areas, or we're under pressure at the back trying to play out. When he gets the ball, I'm just like, oh, it's Bruno. It's going to end up there. It's going to end up here and there. And, he's not going to give the ball away. So he is absolutely fantastic. Next man, obviously, again, I know Gary and Mauro have already spoke about him because we did the after-match, post-match, whatever you want to call it, stuff. Pass accuracy 90%, chances created 3, interceptions 1, duels won 9, tackles 1, and an assist, of course. Heat map, and someone pointed this out to us. A lot of it was on the left-hand side because we think he was helping out ASM defensively. So when he lost the ball, he was doing all the dirty work. Blade, what have you made of Joelinton so far and that performance on Saturday from him?
He's an absolute beast. He needs to watch his temper sometimes.
Yes.
But I kind of like the fact he plays on the edge. I think that gives him his game. That sort of angry bite he's got, I've really got no problem with it. But yeah, he does the dirty work for overlap with Maxi as well, given we're sort of 3-pronged attack on the left with somebody always willing to cover for the other one.
Yeah, it was evident in the assist that he got that he was over on the left with Maxi working the angle with Joe Willock to get in down the left-hand side to cross it. It worked really, really well. Paul, what have you made of Joelinton's resurgence and also his performance on Saturday?
He's a changed man. From when he first came and where he was playing to now, he seems to be a lot more at home. And let's hope that it can carry on all the way through the season.
Yeah,
I think he's done wonderful.
Yeah, he's absolutely a beast. Very quickly before I come to Liam, did you know that Paqueta and Bruno have known each other since kindergarten? I did not know that. That's incredible. Liam, what's your thoughts on Joelinton?
I don't want to insult anyone behind closed doors, but when they went in for him and they got him for 40 million or whatever the sum was in the end, whoever said he was a striker clearly didn't watch him enough, because the way he's adjusted in a midfield position is a miracle. I don't think I've ever seen a player adjust that well. It's just, it blows you away. Like you watch him when Bruce was here at the striker position, he didn't have any confidence. You put him in the midfield, he's got more confidence than anyone I've ever seen on a football pitch. And I think the fact that he's got someone like Paqueta next to him, and I've seen it with Willock as well. He works really well with Willock. I just think it's something that I'm shocked about, because he's got the firepower as a striker, but he's also got the passing ability of a midfielder. And it's something dangerous. And I think there's something really dangerous brewing in Joelinton. He's one you got to watch. I know he's 26, but 26 is still young. He's still not even in the peak of his career.
Yeah, he's under 2 years before he hits his peak, hasn't he? So it's very, very interesting. And the thing is that they did watch him at Hoffenheim. He played a lot on the left-hand side anyway. He wasn't really a striker either. He was more of did they play a front three, didn't they, like we do? And he played him on the left-hand side, didn't they? And I actually said, and I'm not blowing my own trumpet here, but I did say, why don't we try Joelinton in midfield? This was before the actual Norwich game. And it worked out. I always said he's tall, he's strong, he likes to tackle, play him in a defensive midfielder role and see how he does. But he's even better than that. He's not just someone who tackles. He's not someone who just gets angry and wins the ball back. I don't know how he's done it and what drugs he's taking, because I want some of it. Because he's turned into someone who looks just so confident on the ball. He can pick a pass. He can break the lines. That run he made in there and should have scored. Joelinton as a number 9 would never have thought about picking the ball up at that point and running at them. So, do you know what I mean? It's crazy. So yeah, just an unbelievable player now, and someone, again, like you mentioned, if we don't get Europe next season, there could be a top team actually come in for him. I know it won't be Real Madrid or anyone like that, but someone like, Chelsea needs a defensive midfielder or someone on those lines, we could struggle. Next topic, Jude Smith. I don't know if you know much about him, or anyone knows anything about him. He's the goalkeeper with no arms, as you can see. Again, couldn't find a decent picture of him because no one really knows who he is. But he was on Celtic's books, and we've signed him. So we did mention yesterday that he was here at the club. He was a trialist. He's basically under 23, so he doesn't include in the squad numbers. But we've been impressed with him, so we've signed him. I'm happy we got that one right. Gary, do you know anything about him?
No, I've never heard of him.
Not until Steve went, we're signing a goalkeeper. I went, we're doing what?
I'm hoping they signed him based on the fact that Wilson was shooting at him and not Chris Wood. Right? But Eddie's not stupid, is he? So they've basically brought him in, had a look, and Eddie thought, right, smashing, sign him up. So, yeah, full 100% confidence because Eddie.
Yeah, and again, this tells us a story potentially, Morrow. Who's leaving? It's Morrow. Oh, there you are.
Interesting
Morrow.
Question.
Yeah.
Interesting question. Whether. Yeah. Interesting question there. whether it will be Dubravka or if we bring a player or two, whether it will be Gillespie just missing out, or will he stay in under 21 for this season? But he never heard much of him, but somebody read somewhere that he is highly rated, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Liam, who would you put your money on? Gillespie, Darlow, or Dubravka leaving, if anyone is leaving?
I think Dubravka. I just think the fact that I don't want to keep making it as a rumor, but I still think Leicester's going to need someone in goal, and I think Dubravka's still going to be that man.
I kind of agree with you, and that's why these Maddison rumours won't go away, because I still think there's a chance that could happen because of it. Paul, do you know anything of this goalkeeper? Have you heard of him?
No, I haven't. Apart from what I saw earlier on Twitter. But he's a young kid, isn't he? I mean, he's got time to grow. I'm just trying to sort my lead out because my battery's going down. And it's the daft thing is, it's a brand new phone.
Oof, that's not good.
It's
Was it
just
100% when you started?
That's better. Plugged in now.
Costo made the phone.
Brilliant. Right. Let's talk about these three. So obviously I mentioned that one of these could end up on loan at Newcastle today on the little transfer rumour show that I did. I really want Pulisic, but there's a lot of people saying Ziyech is the one that should come. Blade, who would you go with out of those three? Who would you like to see? Hudson-Odoi, Ziyech, or Pulisic, if we were going to sign one of them on loan?
Pulisic.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, Pulisic. Hudson-Odoi, he's got a lot of potential, but he just keeps breaking down. I think the last, three Chelsea managers have never really played him. Maybe Hiddink did, I think. He played him quite a bit, but the rest don't seem to fancy him.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? I mean, he got in the England team, Gary, as well, in the England squad. We played England international, so I don't understand it.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Chelsea. 1,000,000%. Anybody who goes to Chelsea just gets their bloody career screwed. Eddie could get the best out of him, that I have no doubt, right? But I agree with Blade Pulisic. Now, I've heard as well that Pulisic has got a massive fan base in the USA. So,
he has, yes.
Yeah.
He's American, isn't he? Or he played in America or something?
No, he's American. And
American as well.
People follow Pulisic just basically because of who his name is over in America. So he will sell a lot of shirts over there. So, I can't say he's yet. No, that's not going to happen. I don't think he'll fit in Eddie's dressing room. Pulisic, I would go for, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Hudson-Odoi come in. That wouldn't shock me at all. I think that type of signing's probably got Eddie written on it as well, but I would pick Pulisic.
Very interesting. Mauro?
Pulisic. Do you know that he has Croatian roots? He is. We tried to poach him while he was young to play for Croatia, but probably US market was too big of a lure. I would take him because his best football was at Borussia Dortmund while he was playing right wing, and he was playing much better than at Chelsea at left wing. And I like Hudson-Odoi too, but as Blade said, he's a bit injury prone, so it's always a risk. And Ziyech, it's too old. He's 29 and has some, I would say, questionable mentality, and not sure if he's really Eddie Howe type. So Pulisic for sure.
How old is Hudson-Odoi?
Hudson-Odoi is
23 now, isn't he?
22 or 3.
21.
Ziyech is 29. And Pulisic is 25.
21.
21. See, I read somewhere, you know Steven Gerrard, right?
Mm-hmm. No, I don't know, mate. No, I'm going to kill you.
No, I don't. You remember from 17 to 19, Gerrard suffered from injuries?
Yes.
Well, he said in whenever he fought a biography. He said in the early years of his career, he says his body just wasn't developed, and that's why he was picking these injuries up.
Right.
So maybe that's happened to him.
Possibly.
But I've heard a few players say that, but Gerrard was like the main one.
Right.
So
Well, his voice still hasn't developed, has it?
Brilliant. Liam, who would you pick?
So, just out of how the clubs sort of brought people in and behind the back rooms. So, if I get the name wrong, 'cause I'm terrible with pronunciations, Darren Eales, the guy that came in as a CEO, has links because he come from America. I wouldn't be surprised if Pulisic comes through the door because, by the looks of it, Newcastle as a brand needs to go other places, and getting someone in from America means selling shirts in America. So if you have someone like him coming in, it boosts sales, and sales mean one thing for the club. It means also FFP can be met because you're selling a lot more shirts. So I wouldn't be surprised because strategically it works for the club. Even if it's just a loan, I wouldn't be surprised because obviously Chelsea's doing a lot different in formations and things. So Pulisic would be a one for me.
Yeah.
I think Pulisic will be a loan with an obligation to buy at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think so.
Don't know how much for, but that's what I read.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I think an obligation to buy or an option to buy at the end of the loan would be a good move because if he does do well, like Target did, we can trigger it whenever we want. So that would be very, very interesting. And again, as you mentioned, trying to break America, and the guy from Atlanta knows exactly how to do that. It just makes sense, doesn't it? The more you think about it, the more you know. But again, this guy's great at branding, so he doesn't even need Pulisic to brand Newcastle. He can probably do it with people we've got there already. I mean, Miggy was there. He could probably use Miggy as well, potentially. Which is surprisingly, there's our next man. More than anything, really, I feel a lot more confident. The manager has shown more faith in me too. Obviously, I still need to keep working hard on my goal scoring and providing more assists, but I'm always working hard in every training session. Now, I'm a big Miggy fan. I've never made, you probably don't even know how much of a Miggy fan I am. I hardly ever talk about him. But Blade, Miggy, what have you made of him so far? I mean, I know he probably should have had maybe 2 or an assist on Saturday, but he's getting in those positions now where he was scared to do it. And I think it's because of Bruno. But do you see Miggy having a much better season given the opportunity if we don't sign a right winger?
He'll have a much better season, but the problem remains that if we're relying on a front three, so we're only relying on one striker, which is Wilson. Yes, well, midfield can score goals. Maxi's hit and miss. His shots lack quality at times. Miggy sometimes just needs to pull the trigger without thinking about it. He just needs to put the laces through the ball and shoot. If he can add 5 assists, 5 goals a season, he's a much better player. But I think Miggy himself in that screenshot you pulled up has said he knows what he needs to work on. So he knows he's just got to produce it.
I said I would like to see him score 5 goals and get about 7 or 8 assists. That was my target for Miggy this season, and I think that's an exceptional season. Bearing in mind, that's just in the Premier League, and Maddison was involved in 20 goal contributions in the Premier League, so he'd only be 7 behind him. And I think Miggy can do that. And you are right, he just needs to take that pre-season form where he didn't give a crap and he was shooting and scoring. He just needs to take that into the Premier League, I think. Paul, what are your thoughts on Miggy?
I quite like him. I mean, pre-season, he was on fire. And like I say, I mean, he got me off my seat when I was at Crystal Palace game.
Yes.
And, if he does the same at the next one on the 3rd of September, I'll be coming back down the motorway with a big smile on my face. He's such a good runner. He just needs to, like I say, when you get in that the final third, stick the laces through it, Yeah,
I think he will. I honestly do. He just needs that little bit of confidence. And he could have pulled the trigger a few times, Liam, on Saturday, but chose not to. But then Maxi chose to shoot when he should have passed. So you've got the differences on both sides. It's like a bit frustrating at times, but it's going to click sooner rather than later, isn't it? Or do you believe it's not and we need a right winger?
Nah, I personally think Almiron's just... He's my wriggly worm of the side. He's a man that just sort of... He slips in behind, and look at him on Saturday. His fitness levels just showed how... In my eyes, on Saturday, he was such a much faster player than I've ever seen him. Like, the way he ran in behind that back line on Saturday, he was running rings around anyone on that team. He was so fast on the ball. He was always wanting to make the runs. Look at him when there was one part in the game where he completely switched wings with Maxi. And then there was times where him and Maxi were both on the same wing. But he's just always wanting to get involved. And I think, just for me, he's one of many of them that got bruised. So I think this season, you'll see Miggy have probably one of the best seasons of his career, really.
Yeah, I agree. And then, again, one of the reasons why I agree with that, Mauro, is that Bruno's the one threading those passes, and Miggy's never had anybody. Shelby to an extent, but Bruno's on a different level when it comes to threading those balls through. Miggy's never had, when he's made runs, no one's ever found him, but now people are finding him, or Bruno's finding him, I should say.
Yeah, it should be a good pass for him. And, Shelby can pick a long pass when you are on the counter or something, but Bruno, he can just thread the defense through the middle or out. So that should be a big plus for both wing players, Maxi and Almiron.
Yeah, I agree. Gary, what's your thoughts on Miggy? Do you still think we need a right winger, or can we go in with Murphy, Fraser, Miggy and Anderson?
After the pre-season he's had, God,
yeah, exactly.
I was all for giving any player the benefit of the doubt under Howe, first full season under Howe, because half of that team was Bruce, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And once again, Miggy's coming out saying how well the manager's done for us and all that. How many bloody players at this club say that? None of them said it under bloody Cabbage did.
Well, only ASM, wasn't it, who liked him?
No. But I'm the same. Just, you can score goals. You've got a shot on you. We've seen it in international level. Put your bloody laces through the ball and have a go. It doesn't matter if you miss, right? I'm sure it was Malcolm MacDonald who said, he says, I used to go out every game, made sure I had 5 or 6 shots because I knew one of them would go.
Yeah.
Do the same bloody thing. Honestly, you've got the ability to do it. And Man City's coming up soon, and shove it down Jack Grealish's throat in that game.
Yes. Yes. I would love to see that.
It'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Miggy will have an outstanding season this year, 10 plus goals. I think 10 plus goals or assists. I don't think he'll get 10 goals, but I think he'll get between 10 and 15 goal contributions is the best way to put that, isn't it? Right, last two more topics before we go, because I've got work tomorrow, unfortunately. Otherwise, we would have went on a lot longer. But Anderson, I'm looking at daily progression. Physically and tactically, I've been a huge progression in him. He can play a number of positions as things stand right now. He won't be going anywhere and will play an integral part for the season. That's what Eddie Howe said a little while ago, a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, about Anderson. Obviously, Gary and Mauro, you've had your say on them, so we'll go to you three guys. Blade, Anderson, he's a definite stay now, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I think I said it on the last show when we're on about would we loan him out or keep him, and I said keep him, because even if he gets a few games, he's going to get more experience playing in the Premiership than he is, say, blending him to the Championship or even lower than that. So yeah, he's going to be an integral part. I think Eddie's going to use him. I think Anderson can turn into a quality player for him, but I still think he's central midfield. I don't think he's right-sided.
Well, that's strange you say that, though, because Bristol Rovers, he played on the left side. And he scored quite a lot of goals doing it.
Yeah, but he's just got a lot of he reminds us of Beardsley.
Yeah. I'd play him at number 10 then, personally. It's interesting because he can, according to Eddie Howe, he can play across the three completely. So it'll be interesting to see what develops with him. But he needs a game time, Paul, and that's one thing I'm a little bit worried about. He didn't bring him on against Forest, and I thought that was an easy game to introduce Anderson to the first team. 2-0 up, give him 15 minutes and see what he does.
Yeah, I mean, good kid, and he's got a good future ahead of him, and he's got the players around him to soak up their skills as well. That'll give him a hell of a push.
Yep, I agree. Liam, what's your thoughts on Anderson?
I said since he came back off his loan that he was a definite key for this season. I think he's one of these players that, with the fact that there's 5 substitutions this year, you're going to see him getting involved a lot more. And I think Eddie would be stupid not to get him involved, because you don't see many very young players coming through at Newcastle at the minute. And if he's one of them, just looking at how he plays, I know Bristol Rovers is a completely different league to play it in, but bringing his confidence to the confidence levels we currently have at the moment, we're going to see him probably have his best games at Newcastle well under this momentum shift. The one thing that is to get right with him is obviously his position. They'll have to take consideration into when to bring him on. They don't want to obviously slip up and have it so if he basically causes a consolation goal or something like that, we don't want him getting slated by the media and things, because his confidence will just drop. So it's bringing him in when we're quite heavily in front. Like Saturday, they probably should have they should have really. 5 substitutions, I would have liked to have seen him come on, especially with his fitness levels being younger than pretty much everyone on the pitch. Yeah,
I agree. Against Tranmere is perfect for him to start. I still think a cameo role on Saturday would have been good for him. Anderson, next new Gaza. He's been dubbed the new Maradona. Gary from Bristol Rovers fans, they honestly rate him that highly.
Yeah, I've spoken to a few Rovers fans after they got promoted, and they said he is Premiership quality. Yeah. And they said, forget about league where we play and all that, what league we're in, they said he is a Premiership player. No doubt about it. And I'm glad we're keeping him. And even if it doesn't work out in the next few months, you can go on loan in January.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can go on loan any time of the season, can't you? The loan market goes on a little bit longer, doesn't it?
No, it goes on a bit longer. I'm not sure how long for, but he keeps Maxi on his toes, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Because Maxi knows if he's not performing, you've got this lad to come in. And I think it's been a bit different for Maxi last season, because there wasn't really anybody to threaten these players. I know we had Almiron and Fraser, but they're more on the right. So I'm very hopeful at Anderson. And when Blade said Peter Beardsley, oh God.
Yeah, can you imagine another Peter Beardsley? I would love that. Maro just got a little grin there because Mark, as his biggest fan, says that he has an immense knowledge. So we're going to come to Maro about his knowledge on Anderson.
Well, it's obvious he's amazing talent, really, and but I was really impressed with him in pre-season. That he is not phased at all playing with the big boys. He's not afraid of the first team. He's not afraid of the challenge. He takes the ball further. So I'm really, really impressed and think he can go a long way. And glad that he's staying with the team.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I mean, he still could go out on loan, but as far as I can see, unless a right winger comes in, he's going nowhere. And I don't see a right winger coming in now. Now, this is interesting from Hitsika. He's dug this out from somewhere. Can only find more shorts sold in 2020. Messi with the March. But look who's second. Pulisic. 682,115 shirts. American fan base sold. You sign him. Yeah, exactly.
How the bloody hell did Rashford sell 205,000?
Because if he's feeding the kids, isn't it?
I was going to say they didn't like him at Man United, did they?
Well, that's 2020 though, so he was still liked then. But that's an amazing amount of shirts for one player. So there we go, Leon. That kind of backs up your theory that we get Pulisic in, and then Eagles goes back to America and says, "Look who we've got. Here's a Newcastle shirt with his name on it," and boom, it just blows up, doesn't it? But the only problem with that though is Castori has to deliver them. So we've probably just got a massive fine, and there goes the FFP again. So It was a good shout, but it's going to fail.
His loan will be finished by the time they get the top.
Yeah, probably. They'll be all burning them. Yeah, they'll be burning them.
Oh, God.
Right, the last quick topic, we did touch on it very quickly. Obviously, Tranmere, who we've drawn in the Cup. It is live on Sky on the 28th of this month. I think it's a Wednesday night at 7:45. And guess what? I'm on fucking night shift. I am not impressed. So let's get a quick... Yeah, no, I can't. No. I'm not for a Tranmere away. If it was an FA Cup final or something like that, then I'll probably get sacked because they'll know why I'm off sick. But screw them. Let's have a quick round the houses. Are we going to progress? Blade, is this an easy tie or not? I put out on Twitter saying any away game to any lower league on a Wednesday night is a tough game, and I got hammered for it. What's your thoughts on it?
It's a Stevenage waiting to happen. That's why we're on Sky. Tranmere is a tough ground, tight ground. Reminds us of the old West Ham stadium. We should have enough depth to get through it. It'll be a heavily rotated team. But yeah, I've got no fear we'll get through the game, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it is going to be tough. Paul, what about you?
I think we're going to wipe the deck with them.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, it's the first cup sort of game, and put your marker down for the rest. I may be wrong, but that's what I think.
I just think because he's going to make a lot of changes. I think it's a banana skin. I really do. Liam, what's your thoughts on it?
Momentum's too high at the minute. I think we'll absolutely wipe the deck with them.
Really?
Yeah, wow. I think we'll walk over them.
I wonder why I got hammered.
Nah, I think we'll walk over them. Just with morale being so high at the minute, I just think even if like the team gets heavily rotated, there's players in there that'll want a chance in the first team, or they're going.
That is, yeah, I get all that. I just nothing's easy. Nothing's easy. I've seen Man City struggle to score goals away to lower league opposition, and Liverpool and all them lot as well. So that's just my opinion, though. Mauro, what about yours? What's your opinion on it?
Well, if Bruce was still in charge, I would be afraid and we would probably go out. But with Eddie Howe, I think we will win by 2-3 goals, even with the heavily rotated squad, even with Lascelles and Murphy in the squad.
In the team, more than the squad, I think.
Yeah.
What about you, Barry?
Well, even though they're going to rotate the squad, you're going to have people like Kraft and Botman coming in. You know what I mean?
Botman will be an interesting one if he starts in that kind of game.
I saw Tranmere fans saying on the Twitter that hopefully Newcastle fans get the Cup end. That's what they were saying.
All right.
So I'm assuming Tranmere are going to give it a full stand, so they can get a full sellout at the game. So I don't know how much that holds that stand, but it must be a big
2,500. I think was the
something like that.
Somebody said, "What's the regular?" I think you're only allowed to give 2,500 because it's a certain percentage of the ground or something like that. So I think because someone asked that question, what's the away allocation going to be?
Yeah,
and someone came up very quickly with 2,500. So we can only go off that. It could be more. We never know, but. It'll sell out, won't it? It'll sell out, even though it's a Wednesday night and it's on Sky. They'll still sell out.
I think the difference is you're getting players coming into this team, Botman, Anderson, you name it, who want to show Eddie what they can do. And I agree. I think it'll be a comfortable 3-4 victory.
Ooh, I definitely got hammered then, didn't I? Absolutely good. Would they buy shirts if he was just on loan? I think they would because it's a year, isn't it? And shirts change every year anyway. So that's the reason why. Not an easy tie, but should be okay. That's what I mean. I still expect us to win. I just don't think it's going to be as comfortable as what some people say that we're going to walk all over them. That's just my opinion. I've seen it too many times in the Cups. Cambridge last year, Stevenage. There's lots of times we've gone out in the third round of the FA Cup to absolute dog teams. You know what I mean?
Does anybody get anything for winning it?
You get a European place, don't you?
Well, there you go. They're needing more Eddie will know that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's only the conference Europa, but it's still a place in Europe, though, isn't it?
I think they'll have their eye on that competition big time.
Yeah.
For that reason alone.
I agree. Well, I said that we should win. I just don't think it's going to be easy, that's all. All right, very quick, before we go, if you enjoyed tonight's show, please hit that subscribe button. Please consider becoming a member. Link is in the top of the chat. Don't forget, if you need any carpentry or joinery needs, Coastal Copy and Joinery. Great stuff, as you can see from the pictures. You need any fragrances, you know where to get them from. 1 badge left. There's only 1 badge left. Anyone wants it, contact me. And if you would like one of these amazing shirts, they are replicas. They're not real, but they were delivered within a week. The prices are very, very reasonable. Contact him, Renegade FC, on Twitter, and that is his free advertisement done. If he wants any more, you can give me some shirts, and then I'll give them away. Even championship teams don't want to be in the League Cup. How many of them got eliminated? This is very true. It's just it's a bogey competition for a lot of teams. I mean, the Mackhams get destroyed everywhere they go, don't they? Because they got beat 2-0. I don't know if you saw the game, but that Sheffield Wednesday goal was pretty special, to be fair.
Oh, it was a corker, wasn't it?
It was. But Blade, Paul, Liam, thank you very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Gary and Mauro, as always, I'll see you two tomorrow night. Please join us from 8:15 when I've got Mike, the Brighton fan. We all know Mike is absolutely brilliant. He comes on the Premier League show. He knows his stuff, and he's going to give us an insight of what he expects from Brighton at the Amex. And can we make it 100% winning run to the start of the season? Fingers crossed. We'll find out tomorrow what we've got to say.
Thanks for having us.
No, thanks for coming on, Paul, and being a fan. We really appreciate your support, as well as Blade and as well as Liam as well, of course. And check out Liam's channel. He's got one. Paul's got a channel on YouTube. Blade would get one, but his signal's crap.
I was waiting for it to register in as well.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll hopefully see you tomorrow night. Take care till then.
See you later.